thank you for all the participants who have joined as well. So my name is Bettina and I come from Engination, and today I'm going to talk to you about studies in Finland and particularly introduce LUT University. So I will go ahead and share my screen. Gary, would you please allow me to share my screen?
Okay. Okay, please.
Excellent. Just
Thank
bear
you.
with me a second. So I hope that you will be able to see this PowerPoint presentation.
Yep, perfect.
Excellent. So here we have a beautiful evening skyline of Helsinki, our capital. And this is obviously taken in the summer, so could be actually now in May, since we're having, or the summertime is finally starting in Finland, and the trees are turning green, and it's really beautiful time to be in Finland. But let's go on to the actual topic of living and studying in Finland. So in the beginning, I'd like to just give you some highlights on why Finland could be a great destination for studies. And well, first of all, if we look at the education system as a whole, Finland has multiple times been ranked as having the best education system in the world. Whether you look at primary years like kindergarten, or if you look at secondary education, or even like higher education, tertiary education, Finland most often come out in the top of the ranks. And that's also, of course, why, for example, we are fourth in the world in terms of human capital, which is another sort of measure on knowledge and such. We're also actually the third most innovative country in the world, which is quite, I would say, astonishing, since Finland is a fairly small country in the end. We're only 5.5 million. So of course, we're really proud to be such innovative after all. And this, of course, also reflects then in the education system that we have, which supports critical thinking and innovations, and having an open mind to do things differently than before. And speaking of doing things differently, also when, especially the university level in Finland, students are really taught things that like skills that are needed in the future. And that's why Finland is also ranked in the top when it comes to these indexes for future skills. And this is, for example, automation, robotization, like everything related to artificial intelligence. So these days at universities in Finland, you'll see more and more courses actually and programs being kind of multidisciplinary, so that even if you're studying business, you might run into courses on artificial intelligence, because of course, everything is quite interconnected these days among technology and business, for example. So a good thing of studying at a university level in Finland is also that you really gain skills that are needed in the future, and you will not be obsolete after, or your knowledge will not be obsolete after a few years. We're also since we're a very high technology country in general, a lot of our companies are in the IT and engineering technology sector. Finnish students and generally also the population overall have one of the best digital skills in the world. And it's very common, for example, that even elderly people, when they have to go to the doctors, or if they need to now, for example, when they have been booking the vaccines, they can do so online. So even like elderly people have really great digital skills in Finland, so that they are still very much part of the development, and we also think it's very important, of course, that everyone has these skills, since everything is going more digital all the time. And finally, one of the bullet points here is, of course, our English skills. And Finland has actually been ranked the third in speaking English among the native English speaking countries. And that's of course something that we're really proud of, since English is often the second or third language for people in Finland. So being an international student in Finland is super easy because you won't have any communication trouble with at university or in general in the society, since everybody will be able to help you out if you need help. So overall, Finland is a really great destination for higher education studies, no matter if you look at it from an educational perspective or a perspective of being an international student, or then if you look at the society overall, like the so yeah, we of course, first of all, one reason to come to Finland and especially to live in Finland is of course our beautiful 4 different seasons that are quite distinguishing for this part of the world, where we have very snow-filled winters, but then our summers can be really warm in the south, especially up to 30 degrees Celsius on the sunny days. So it has a lot of variety for students also to experience different activities that you can do during these different seasons as well. And having a lot of nature is of course very important to the Finnish people as well. And that's why we also like to spend a lot of time outdoors doing different sports activities. Another great thing of both studying and living in Finland is of course that our country is fairly equal, and we do have low levels of hierarchy. And this also goes to, for example, university studies, where it's not common to see professors and, for example, students have lunch together. If it's you know, we call our professors by their first names. You don't have to like stand up when talking. It's very informal and very friendly to study in universities in Finland. Another great point to highlight, of course, is the safety aspect, especially something that parents tend to worry quite a lot about. And Finland has been and is still one of the safest places also for students. And we're also one of the most stable countries in the world. And stable, of course, can mean many different things, but in this particular ranking, we were looking at the stability of governments. So, for example, it's very, very, very stable to live in Finland, and the political climate is quite, safe in that sense as well. We also tend to think of ourselves as pretty sustainable, and especially in the recent couple of years, sustainability is another topic that kind of runs throughout the society, and everybody these days are of course thinking about sustainability and climate change and all these things, and this is also another topic that you'll see running cross-disciplinary in a lot of the universities in Finland, just like, for example, artificial intelligence have been. So it's both technology, digital skills, and sustainability that are kind of the hot topics currently at many universities, and they try to incorporate these topics also to all different sort of aspects of studies. And finally, one of the good things, of course, being a student in Finland is that you will have the possibility to work during and after your studies. So that's both a nice way to gain work experience, but also earn a few euros while studying. And then, of course, you can stay back to work if that's what you want as well. Some of these advantages I already spoke about briefly, but of course, a good thing to remember is also that Finland is, of course, part of the European Union, and therefore our degrees from universities are also in line with those of other European countries, meaning that you will easily be able to continue studies abroad if you, for example, want to do a master degree or a PhD, etc. So it's quite easy to then transfer also within Europe. As I already mentioned, we're really good in Finland in the STEM fields, so science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That's really kind of the strong suits of Finland. And more than that, you'll see that our tuition fees are also fairly affordable, if you consider the quality of the education that you'll have in Finland compared to many other European and non-European countries as well. But I won't spend too much time this time talking about general studies in Finland, since we've had already a couple of webinars where we've gone through those sort of things. So after this, I will jump into more introducing the university this week, which we're going to talk about, which is LUT University this is really something that I'm excited about personally, and I think a lot of their degrees are really, really exciting for international students. And I hope you feel the same way after this presentation. LUT is a university that is combining engineering and technology with business studies. So they have both engineering programs as well as a business faculty. And one of their core principles, or I would say something that runs throughout this university, is of course sustainability. And this can be seen both in terms of the programs that they have, which is, for example, within environmental technology or energy technology, and all of these programs that we have at LUT University also have sustainability as a huge part of their degree. And of course, living in today's world, one can understand why sustainability is a very important aspect of teaching young students this topic as well. And as you will see throughout this presentation, for example, clean energy, water treatment technology, and like different aspects of sustainability in terms of engineering science is brought into the students' studies. As I already said, LUT has a very interesting kind of profile, combining business and technology with sustainability. And I think this sort of diagram here with water, air, energy, and business kind of shows this quite well, where everything can be an opportunity as well. A current challenge can actually become an opportunity for something new. And that's why their slogan is also science with a purpose, which I think is quite phenomenal, actually. But if you're more interested, of course, in reading, for example, about LUT University strategy and how they incorporate sustainability into their programs, you should definitely visit their website as well. They have a lot of interesting information there. So about the location of this university. So LUT University have two different campuses in Finland, both located here in the southern part, southern east side, I should say. So as you can see, this little white dot here is Helsinki. And then we have Lappeenranta, which is kind of their main campus, very close to the Russian border in the lakeland of Finland, as we call it. And then Lahti is another, a little bit closer to Helsinki, where they have, let's say, their second campus. This is a picture of their, or like a flight, what do you call it, drone flight picture of Lappeenranta campus, the one further to the east. As you can see from this picture, it's actually located on the shores of Europe's fourth biggest lake, which is Lake Saimaa, and that's why this area is also known as Lake Land in Finland. Not only the university, as I said, is very focused on sustainability, but actually the city of Lappeenranta was nominated for the European Green Leaf Award this year, which is also, again, goes to show how much they put effort into being green and clean and sustainable. They're also quite international, both this university and this town. They have, for example, been also featured in a Netflix TV series, which is called Border Town. So if you're interested to see more about Lappeenranta and you have access to Netflix, you should definitely try to see if you can find this show. And it's very well located also in terms of the proximity to our capital, Helsinki. It's only 2 hours basically from Helsinki, as well as 2 hours from St. Petersburg. So we're quite nice located there between two large cities. St. Petersburg is of course part of Russia, so you might need to have a visa or something to visit it. But if you decide to come to Finland, you should definitely visit St. Petersburg at the same time. It's a beautiful city as well. The other campus that they have is Lahti, as I already mentioned. Lahti is probably most famous for their international sports event, and they have had many different winter sport competitions in the city of Lahti, and it's even closer actually to Helsinki than the other campus. And I'll show you which programs they run where at a later stage. But anyway, so LUT is a fairly young university. It was founded in 1969, and as I already said, they're very much combining technology and business. That's kind of their strong suit, I would say. They have roughly 80 nationalities on campus, so they are actually fairly international for being a university in Finland, and actually 1/3 of their first-year students are foreign nationals. And so students, like international students, don't need to worry that they'll be the only one. There's plenty of international students studying at LUT. And this also goes to show that they actually are the #1 in the number of international graduates in Finland. So a really nice international environment for international students as well. And actually, as you can see here, 30%, roughly almost 30% of their teachers and researchers are foreigners as well. It's a good size university. They have roughly 5,000 bachelor's and master's students, and basically 65% of their master programs are taught in English. And this is quite a big chunk, as you can understand. And they really are truly an international environment, and by all means of that word. And the quality of their education also goes to show that actually their graduate employability is 95% after 1 year of graduation. So the majority of people who want to find a job within their field will find one after they have graduated. So LUT is also a really good university on paper for employers to show where you studied. But more than being an international university, LUT is also very well ranked actually. They belong to one of the best universities in the world. For example, in the 2020 Times Higher Education World University Rankings, they are among the top 400 universities. In the QS rankings, they were number 491. And then, of course, there's plenty more different like international rankings that you can look at, but I would actually like to also really mention this Times Higher Education World University Ranking by subject, which was done in 2020 in business and economics. And actually here, LUT School of Business and Management ranked in the top 200 of all business schools in the world. And this is in this ranking, there are over 1,000 business schools participating each year in this ranking, and LUT is in the top 200. So if you want a really good or study at a really good business faculty where you still have access, for example, to take courses from some engineering classes or whatever, you should definitely consider LUT. And this is another very interesting ranking which is sort of a kind of taking a different perspective into this university rankings, but basically they were also listed in the top 200 universities in the impact ranking. And basically this impact ranking assesses and takes into consideration the social and economic impact of the universities that they have on the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So again, I can't stress enough how well ranked this university is. It's really a shame that they're not more famous in the world than they are currently, but I hope that we can together change this, because I do believe that LUT is a really fantastic option for international students. Students are also very happy actually with their studies at LUT. And this, of course, goes to show also then perhaps through the rankings that they're not only ranked very well this university, but they also take care of their students very well. They have performed well in sort of different rankings when it comes to looking at student satisfaction. But for example, the LUT School of Business and Management has the best study atmosphere in Finland, according to one survey. And also bachelor graduates rate quality of studies above the national average. So this is, of course, again, direct feedback from students actually studying at this university. And for example, graduates' sustainable development skills and ethics are also higher than average. So as I said, sustainability is a very important topic in this university and should be, considering the current state of the world. And if you want to gain skills that are also the future employers will find very useful, you should definitely, again, consider LUT. Here we have some pictures of the student accommodations in LUT, very colorful and modern, as you can see from the pictures. The accommodation for students is arranged by this Lappeenranta Student Housing Foundation, which is a very normal setup at the Finnish universities. They have a lot of different apartments in various sizes, so students can definitely find something that they're happy with, and also, of course, depending on their financial situation. It's international students, of course, often choose to rent shared apartments, not only because you will have some peers to share your daily life with, and of course, it's also a more economical option than, for example, renting a studio. In addition to this LOAS apartment, there are, of course, other municipal rental apartments and private rental services as well. But a lot of these students often do opt for these housing foundation apartments that are available both for national and international students. And then, of course, on the other campus, they also have these student accommodation, but I won't go too much into detail about those. And here are some mentioning of the different study services that they have. This is just a small part of it, but just goes to show that they, again, take very well care of their students and make sure that they have a great experience and development throughout their studies. They have, of course, tutoring service for new students. They have study counselors who can help guide students in their study plans, and also, of course, a career service that can help students in their professional development journey. And they, of course, also do organize these sort of events where they can, for example, help you to how to do interviews or how to update your LinkedIn profile, which is an important aspect, of course, in Finland when looking for jobs, etc. So they really have a good overall network, support network for students at this university. So now we finally come to the part of what you can actually study at LUT. So LUT actually do offer both bachelor programs in technology in English, and then on master level they do also have a programs in both technology and business in English. For students who are interested in PhD and doctoral studies, you can also do this and at LUT later on. So there's a lot of different opportunities. This is a list of the bachelor's programs that LUT currently are running. They have one program which is a bachelor's program in technology and engineering science, and then they have 4 different double degree programs, which is conducted together with a Chinese university, but completely conducted in Finland, but part of the degree will be taught by a Chinese university. And these are then in electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, energy technology, and software and systems engineering. So I do have some information here about the different programs, and I will probably choose this first one to go into a little bit more in detail, and then I'll just kind of browse through the other ones. But this bachelor's program in technology and engineering science is a great program for students who are not entirely sure what specific engineering field they would like to continue or go into on a more in-depth level. So actually during the first years of this bachelor's program in technology and engineering science, students will focus on different engineering disciplines, for example, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, energy technology, and environmental technology. And then after these years, they can choose a specialization to focus on. And what this program really achieves is to give students a competence to solve multidisciplinary engineering problems, where, for example, you need to have understanding of, for example, both energy technology and environmental technology. And this, of course, will also be a great skill asset once you go into working life, if you have a multidisciplinary understanding of fields. And after this program, students can then continue actually directly, or they have a study right to continue studies at master levels at LUT. So depending on the program that you choose or the specialization that you choose to have, you can then go into various kind of master degrees at LUT if you're interested in continuing. So the duration is 3 years, but then you have the option to continue 2 years and gain a master degree. So this is one of the really, really cool programs that they have in LUT for students who would like to try out the different disciplines in engineering before choosing a specialization. And the tuition fee for this program is 9,500 euros per year, and they do have some scholarships available as well for international students. If you want more information about this, you can definitely contact Gary afterwards, and he can share you more information about those. And then the rest of these programs, the 4 different programs coming now, is these double degree programs, which are done together with Hebei University of Technology in mainland China. And you will then get a degree from both universities, actually. So this could also be an option for some students. And these programs are bachelor program in electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, software and systems engineering, and finally energy technology. But as I said, I won't go too much into these details now, but if you have more questions, we can definitely look into that more later on. Because next up, I want to also showcase their master programs, which they have quite a lot of those. And as you can see, they are both in for example, chemical engineering, they have business analytics, electrical engineering, energy technology or energy conversion, and many, many different fields that you can choose from, which is super nice. And then they, since we already talked about the business faculty as well, they of course have then pure master programs in business and economics as well that the students can look into if they're interested. Master degree tuition fees are 10,000 euros per year, and all the programs are 2 years. So the total cost would be 20,000 euros for a master degree from LUT. But of course, they also offer scholarships for international students, both from the second year onwards, but also, for example, they have these 100% tuition fee waiver if you get a certain GPA during your first year of studies. So there's also, of course, options for lowering the tuition fee if you are a great, successful student. And actually, one more thing that I haven't included too much information on right here in this presentation is a pathway program that they also actually have. So I'll go ahead and share that with you briefly. I just have to stop sharing my screen and then share a different slide set instead. Let me just hold on a second. So I have too many windows open clearly, but just bear with me one more second and I'll have it ready for you. So I hope that you can see my screen, which is a different presentation, and it's about a pathway program for a business degree. So since the traditional recruitment or the traditional admission criteria for the business program at LUT University require GMAT, LUT has actually this year introduced a new pathway program for one of their master's program, and the master program in question is called Master Program in International Business and Entrepreneurship. This program is a 2-year full-time program taught completely in English, and eventually you'll get a degree, Master of Science in Economics and Business Administration, and then the focus area is International Business and Entrepreneurship. And the criteria to get into this pathway to this program is lower than that of the direct admission. So first of all, you'll need to have an English language certificate. You need to have some sort of prior business and economic studies. So either a business degree or a degree in business administration or economics, or if you have a degree from another field, then business administration or economics, you need at least 24 European credits of business economic studies. And then last but not least, you also need to submit a letter of motivation. And the great thing about this program is that the first part of the studies, the 30 ECTS, the first row here, will actually be done online as a distance learning studies. But even if this is a pathway, the credits that you'll study in this pathway, so to speak, will actually be directly part of your degree. So as you can see here, 30 ECTS, of which 27 goes to the MIBE degree. So even if you're studying a pathway, you will not lose any time. And actually, not only will you not lose time, but you will actually save some money by doing this pathway. So the first 30 ECTS will be done online from, for example, your home country. And then the remaining of the degree will be done at LUT University in Finland. And as traditionally, the LUT tuition fee is 10,000 euros per year. But again, there are, of course, some scholarships also available for international students. So this could be a really interesting option for students who want to do a business degree in Finland at LUT, but who are not capable or able in this situation to take, for example, a GMAT test. So then this would be a really interesting option for those students. And this is just to showcase what type of courses you'll be studying in this pathway studies. So you can see there's some international business related studies, entrepreneurship, etc., etc. So, and as I said, remember these courses will be then go into your degree directly. So yeah, that was about the LUT pathway for this Master in Business and International Business and Entrepreneurship. And I do believe that I was quite in the end of my slide set in the other PowerPoint presentation as well. So I'll just go ahead and go back to that one quickly and continue where I left off. Bear with me, I have to always go back to the beginning. So I'll just have to flip through these programs here. But yeah, where I left off was here. So if you want to see, for example, student stories or information about their programs and videos, for example, of 2 different campuses, you should definitely check out LUT's own YouTube channel. because there's a lot of they, for example, have introductions of all their programs, all their master programs, as well as their bachelor programs with interviews with current students. They also have information and interviews with alumni. They have videos of their campuses, as I said. So you should, if you're interested to learn more about LUT, I would definitely highly recommend you to check out their YouTube channel and their videos that they have there. And they also have really interesting actual written posts about their students who are both alumni and then students who are still studying there that you can read about what it's like to study at LUT University as well. So again, as I said, since they're a very international university, they also have focused a lot on their content for international students. And they have a really diverse student body as well, which is fantastic. But yeah, that was what I had to say today. And I think I'll stop here and give back the floor to Gary. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact Gary at A-Star for more information. But other than that, I thank you for your attention and yeah, thank you.